You know, I feel like on this channel we talk a lot about photography, but I've never taken a photo of you. So, smile. Smile on 72, by the way. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. That's a joke. You're supposed to smile, and now you're smiling. Now you're smiling. Don't stop smiling. Boom. Gotcha. Now let's just wait 42 minutes for this to develop. What's going on, guys? My name is Chris Howe, and welcome back to my channel where I talk a lot about photography, but specifically owning and running a photography business. Now, today we're gonna be talking about 5 things that you need, both in the physical space and I guess in the digital asset space, to run a successful photography business and or to make money as a photographer. We're just gonna jump right into it. Number 1, a proper email address. So what do I mean about having a proper email address? In my personal opinion, if you wanna look more professional and potentially land more clients, have an email address to your own custom domain name. So let's say it's Chris Howe Photography. I would have chris@chrishowephotography.com. No, that's not my actual email, but you understand the point in that situation. What I'm trying to imply is that if you're sending an email from like a Gmail account or a Hotmail account or a Yahoo account, there's nothing wrong with that, and yes, it's free and less overhead for you, but that small investment and what it says to a person that's potentially hiring you is that you take your job very seriously, and it also adds a level of trust. For example, a couple days ago, I actually got an email from somebody who wanted to work with me, and it came from a Gmail account, and I wasn't too sure if I wanted to trust it based on like the offer that they had versus it coming from a legitimate company email address where it's the person at that customdomainname.com. So would highly recommend that you pay for a custom domain and get a custom email address. It just looks good both on business cards, which we're gonna jump into a little bit, and builds way more trust. I would highly recommend that you do that now. Real quick, the photo is finally developed. You guys look great. Getting back on track right now, the next asset that you're gonna need is a good logo. Now, what I thought would be a good thing to do is let's decode our logo. So for people that don't know or are new to this channel, I own an agency. It's called Know How Media. Chris Howe. How is how it's spelled, Know How Media. It's fun, it's supposed to be creative. You'd be surprised that when we say it in meetings, people are like, wow, that's so creative, you're so fun, and this will be a great, fun experience. But let's decode our logo, for example. So this is the Know How Media logo. As you can see, it's a little play button. Now I want to tell you all the reasons as to why we designed the logo this way. For example, it's a play button. And now if you guys remember VCRs or DVD players back in the day, and or just the play button on YouTube, when you press play, that's that little triangle. So it's related specifically to video because our company focuses on video. Additionally, if you look at the triangle, it kind of looks like a little iris and the way that it's working. So it's kind of similar to a camera iris. So it's very subtle, but it's also based on camera, lenses, and photography. Additionally, a triangle is considered one of the strongest shapes because it cannot break. So additionally, it's kind of supporting that we are a strong, resourceful company. Additionally, with the play button, because it's play, it also means that we're fun, energetic. These are all the things that we considered when we were building our logo. Now, I want you guys to take a guess. How much do you think this logo actually costs to make? I'll give you a quick hot second to think about it. Go down to your notepads, you'll make a few little notes. I think it might be like $500, $1,000, $10,000. In total, for all the assets to build this logo, it cost me $56.50. And you're probably thinking to yourself, wow, Chris, that's so cheap. How did you get it so cheap? I'd like to bring up the sponsor of this week's episode and also one of my favorite companies in terms of digital services. That company is Fiverr. Essentially, when we were a younger company and we were bootstrapping, which means that we were trying to save as much money as we could when we were starting up our production company, I wanted to find some companies and services that I could actually afford. And at that time, about $50 to $100 was the money I was trying to spend to get a logo design. So I went to Fiverr.com, I did some research, and I actually found a designer that I really liked. So what I did is I sent him all those little notes of the things that I thought would be like applied to our logo. And I said, can you design 3 mock-ups for me? And additionally, can you also just do one for fun, something a little different, and see what you create? At that time, for about $5, he did 3 mock-ups and then gave us like a JPEG version. Now, additionally, the reason why it costs a bit more than $5, because the whole mentality behind Fiverr is that you spend $5 for a service. That's usually like the baseline cost for the service. There's gonna be one service that's around $5 to get whatever you need done in terms of the digital services that you're looking for. In this case, just getting the logo design was $5. But if I wanted like the PSD to be able to edit it or be able to get the vectors of it so that I also have the additional workable editing files, it's like another $10 or $15. And then additionally, I paid a rush fee, which is another $10. So it actually only cost me $50. And in most cases, when you're working off of Fiverr, there's like almost unlimited revisions. Now, don't take advantage of that because most people only want to do around 2 to 3 revisions. So be respectful of people's time. I worked with this one designer. I thought he was amazing. We have our logo and it cost us $56. And this is still something that we're using today. So in that case, go online if you guys are getting a logo design. Really think about what the logo represents for your company and how it's gonna represent you. Try to keep it subtle. Don't be so obvious with like, oh, it's gonna be a camera because we're a photography company. Maybe think about something about your personality or what your brand represents and bring that into your logo. Then when you're trying to actually get it designed, because in my opinion, I'm not a good designer, but I've used Fiverr to design about 4 logos throughout my lifetime. So I actually had one for our main agency. I also have one for Chris Howe that I got designed, this sweet lion logo. Look at this. That cost me like $42 or something like that. I also got this one when we were trying to do more tourism board shoots called Show Me. That one cost me $32. And I got all these other like sweet mock-ups and design. Ultimately, to get your logo designed, you can start anywhere from $5 on there all the way up to like $100 or $500 because they actually have premium services where they've actually gone through certain vendors and been like, you're really great. You're gonna be part of our premium packages. So ultimately, there's a wide range there, but a logo plays such a big part in how you're perceived and how a company looks at you and wants to hire you because it stands for so much more. So keep it simple. I went for grayscale. I didn't try to go for too much color so that it didn't like interfere with anything else that we would place the logo on. And that was our final logo. Super happy with it. $50, crazy. The next point is an accounting system. Now, when I've worked with a lot of vendors or the people who have helped work with our company, I'll be like, that job was amazing. Can you send me an invoice? And they go, Chris, what's the invoice? And I'll be like, oh, this is the item that you're actually gonna send that breaks down all the line items of the services that you provided, its cost, and then the final amount of money that that person owes you. This is all done for accounting purposes. Ultimately, every business needs to keep track of the money and where it went. So you'll need to send an invoice to a bigger company throughout your career. The system and the accounting software that we use is waveapps.com. The reason why I love this service specifically is because it actually sends the invoices for you. It will actually tell you if the client had opened your invoice or not, so now they can't come back and be like, oh, sorry, you never sent the invoice. I forgot to pay you. Can you send it again and then we'll pay you 30 days from now? That's how it feels to be a freelancer. Just people are like always like, oh, I lost your invoice. Those are like the unprofessional companies we work with. Avoid those companies. But essentially, this will tell you if they opened it or not. Additionally, if it goes overdue, it will notify you, and then you can send a nice little gentle nudge to the person being like, hey, you didn't pay me and I gotta pay my bills. Can you pay me please? Because I have software that told me that this is now overdue, so pay me. So make sure you use a good accounting software. We use Wave Apps. There's also a bunch of other features within Wave Apps that's really awesome. I can tell you that in another video because accounting software is kind of boring, but in terms of invoicing, you guys need to do this, so look into that. The next point, and this seems obvious, is that you need a good portfolio. But one of the biggest problems that photographers and videographers have is packaging the work that they've completed. Now think about this for a hot second. Let's say you finished a product and then you were just like, I'm gonna throw this in a brown paper bag. I made these amazing glasses and now I'm just gonna dump them in a brown paper bag. Why would you do that? You would want to make sure that there's like a nice case with some design around it so that when you present the glasses, also known as your portfolio, you want it to look good. So what I would recommend is that either on your website, pick a good template or design or get it designed by somebody so that it looks and is presented very nicely, or create a proposal package that outlines everything in it. Additionally, you might want to consult someone on the business side that can tell you, hey, these would be the perfect examples that will land you more jobs, because the way that you present yourself and the way that you package yourself is very, very important in terms of landing more jobs. So I would highly recommend that you take your portfolio and then package it nicely. That was a weird example. I don't know if this is your portfolio, if this is the packaging. I think you guys get the point now. Let's move on. My last tip in terms of the physical space and something that you will need is business cards. And now I already know somebody's there going, Chris, it's 2019, you don't need business cards. Everything's done through Apple and you transfer contact cards like this. No, person, because it's very important to still have a business card. A lot of people who still have money and work at certain businesses are traditionalists and still like to have that exchange. Additionally, I also think a business card can be an amazing first impression. Now, in our case, I'm gonna show you our business cards. Here's a few B-roll examples. As you can see, there's a few things that stand out about this business card. Number one, the paper quality. It's a very high-end paper quality. Number two, it's a different size than a traditional business card. The reason why we picked a different size is because it stands out. When you hand it to someone, they're like, oh, this is cool. How does this even fit my wallet? And then it kind of sticks out of their wallet, so then it's a reminder. And then going back to the paper, it's when they hold it, like, oh, this is super high quality. Chris Howe's brand and Know How Media and this company we're about to work with is very high quality. Additionally, we kept our design very, very simple, and we only printed about 100 of these. Now, these actually cost us around like 75 cents to $1 each because they're a bit more of a premium product. But you have to think about something for a second. What is the cost of that client for you? If a person comes up to you and be like, oh, I really like your work, and you hand them a business card, and then their first impression is like, wow, this is different and unique and high quality, then they'll think more positively about you and you'll have a higher chance of landing that job. And imagine that job was like a $5,000 job or a $10,000 job. Even if it was a $100 job that you landed, it only cost you $1 to get that job. So think about it in that sense. So we only got 100 because you don't give out a lot of business cards, but it's a bad mentality to not think about having business cards and social and a few other things. Because if you think of traditional marketing, when a company launches a product, they want to be seen everywhere. They want to be seen on Facebook ads, on the side of buses, on billboards on the road. So for you to think, no, it's 2019, I'm only digital and I only do transfers with the contact card and the cell phone. No, Jimmy Bob. Cool, and my last little bonus tip for you guys is to just show face and shake a lot of hands. So the next time that you're on set and you're shooting some photos, go and meet everybody, get their contact card, get their business cards, and exchange business cards and contacts, and stay in touch with people. The best way to get more jobs is that when you have all the things that we just talked about, a good portfolio, business cards, a good email address, those are the final things that seal the deal when people go, hey, Jimmy Bob's a good person to work with. I want to work with them. Whoa, sweet portfolio. See that business card? Felt amazing. So having all those things and then combining that with networking will land you guys more jobs. Now on that note, I want to say a big thank you to our sponsor, which is Fiverr, one of my favorite companies that I use on a regular basis. So I actually worked with Fiverr to build a customized curated page. These are my favorite sellers in different categories. I've even picked the exact logo designer that I use for Know How Media's logos and future logos. So go and check out Fiverr. If you guys want to get 15% off your next purchase on Fiverr, would actually bring it down to $4.25 for the final price, which would be $4.25. No, it's still Fiverr, but ultimately you're spending anywhere between $5 to maybe $50 to maybe $100 or some of their premium services. I absolutely love them. All the things that we just talked about in terms of design, getting social media, SEO, anything that we talked about in this video can pretty much be solved by Fiverr. So get on that, go and save some money with the promo code. I love them. We'll continue to use them even beyond this video. So thank you, Fiverr, for sponsoring this video and helping everybody out. On that note, if you guys saw some value in this video and you want to learn more about business and photography and creativity moving forward, well then you better go hit the bell right down there to be notified for future videos. Subscribe and hit the like button because that stuff actually makes a difference. You'd be surprised. Algorithms, whenever all YouTubers like, the algorithm, and then press the like and you do that. No, it actually means a lot. So if you could do that, that'd be amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching. There's gonna be a ton more value coming at you in the next little while. Love you guys lots. Peace out, everybody. It is Friday, so go and have a good time. But you might not be watching this on Friday, but when it is Friday in your world, then go and have a good time, because I am. Bye, everybody.